Hi, I am Blackbright, broadcasting from the east of England. Welcome to my channel. You can put the thumbs up, the thumbs down, you can subscribe and you can share. The motivation behind this video is a subscriber wrote a comment on one of my previous videos on how does a child born in the UK get deported. So what I'm going to do is I've had to break it up in two parts. It doesn't really matter which one you look at first, even though I'm going to call it part one and part two. That's just for ease, so I know how to distinguish when I'm putting them up. But there's not, they both give you different types of information. There might be some overlap, but if there is, it shouldn't be much. So you can sit back, get your cup of tea, and just listen, really. So, first, what is the difference between a British citizen and a British national? The main difference is that British citizens are exempt from immigration control, and British nationals are not exempt from from immigration control. What we mean by British nationals are normally foreign nationals, those not born in the country but have acquired their nationality through naturalisation or whatever. Having said that, British citizens, depending on whether or not both of your parents are born in the country as well, you may not be exempt from immigration control. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the definition of British citizen, so it makes sense to you how children born in the UK can be deported. And also, you know, like we had with the Windrush people, who thought that because long-term residency, because they lived here, because they worked here, they had a GP, all of those rights to abode, they could vote, they could do all of that. They thought that they were British citizens. It didn't occur to them that it needed to be legislated, and that was the mistake that they made. So I'm going to now see if I can give you the definition of British citizens. A British citizen is a person on whom that status has been conferred either automatically by law, born in the UK, where both parents are born in the UK, or by administrative action exercised under the Act. And I think the administrative action is whether or not you're naturalised or you got your citizenship through marriage, that kind of stuff. Or even if you got your citizenship through descent. So did you know that there are 6 classes of British nationality? So I'm going to give you the basic description. If you want the proper description, just Google it. I can't give you all of it. I'd be here all night if I was trying to give you the exact and all the different subcategories. You'd be surprised how many subcategories there are. So I'm just going to give you the basic stuff. British citizen is a British passport holder who is exempt from UK immigration control, which I mentioned before. British overseas territory citizen and a British overseas national and a British overseas citizen are all British passport holders, but they are not exempt from immigration control. A British subject, they don't have them much anymore, and most of them were the Windrush. They are British passport holders if they applied for it, and who are only exempt from immigration control if they have right of abode. So that was what many of them had, right of abode, which meant they either had indefinite leave to remain, they had permission to work and live in the UK, and had they obtained their passports, they would have been exempt from immigration control. But because they didn't, and many of them couldn't prove that they had right of abode, That is where this scandal came in. So a British protected person is, for example, the national of Brunei. They will be a British passport holder, but will not have the status of a British national or a Commonwealth citizen, nor will they have automatic rights to live and work in the UK. Like I said, these are very basic descriptions. There's going to be lots of considerations and variations to be taken into account. So foreign nationals clamour for British citizenship because it is the most common type of British nationality and the only one that bestows an automatic right of abode in the UK. However, a foreign national will never become a British citizen in the true sense of the word, despite paying thousands of pounds for naturalisation, acquiring a passport and attending the ceremony. They have been temporarily been gifted with pseudo-citizenship based on good behaviour and good character. That's unofficial. That's just my way of simplifying. Because what I like to think my videos do is simplify a very complex situation. And when it gets complex, that is why you need immigration lawyers. They're the ones that give you the detail. They're the ones that can say, oh yeah, she said that, but she hasn't taken into consideration that. Or she said, you know, she's included that, but she can only include that if it's in conjunction with this. So that's what I'm saying. You do need to have professionals. And I'm not one. Not with regard to immigration anyway. So you've got British citizens have different rights depending on how their citizenship was acquired. So a person who has automatic British citizenship, i.e. a British person born on the soil, whose both parents are born on the soil, will have different rights and privileges than those who have got their citizenship through descent or through naturalisation. For example, I am British by descent, because even though both of my parents are British citizens through naturalisation, they are Jamaican citizens by birth. So my parents, because my parents were Commonwealth citizens and British citizens, subsequently British citizens, they had an automatic right of abode, so they could work and live in the UK. I was born in the UK, so I got my status, my legal status, based on the fact that they were British citizens at the time I was born. Hope that makes sense. But for the sake of deportation, it can be different. Okay. My daughter was also a British citizen by descent, because one parent, only me, was born in the UK. The other parent, although a British national, a British citizen, was a citizen of Jamaica at birth. However, my granddaughter, and I used a similar parallel in my other video, but it's for a different reason. My granddaughter would have automatic citizenship. She's the only one who would have automatic citizenship, because both her parents, i.e. my daughter, my son-in-law, were born in the UK, and my great-granddaughter would be the same. I hope I'm making this easy for you. So, what unequivocally confirms a British citizen, or in simple terms, is if both parents are British citizens and are not naturalised citizens. And if they want to take it a step further to really make sure you're British, say my granddaughter now, use her as an example. Her mother is British, her father is British. And when I say British, born in England, right? Then, but her grandmother, i.e. me, I'm born in Britain, but her grandfather is not born in Britain. So they could extend it a little bit further and say, okay, that generation means you're not fully a British citizen. And the same way is that with my mum, where they're definitely Jamaican citizens at birth, and so they go about 4 or 5, so it makes sure that what a British citizen is, it's someone who has 4 or 5 generations of people born in the UK. And that is what really constitutes a British citizen. I mean, that's not what's said now. It's kind of implied in America when they're talking about American citizenship. But if they really wanted to be pedantic or awkward, they could do that as well over here. Because you, like I always say, what's done in America soon comes to the UK. Anyway, January 1983 meant that a couple who are British citizens could have a baby outside the UK and their baby would automatically acquire British citizenship as long as the child's parents were not British by descent. They'd have to have automatic British citizenship. So I think that's right. Like I said, double check. It might not be right. It might be okay that you're British by descent. I'm not sure about that. So, for example, if I went to Jamaica, I've already done that example. Okay, I'm going to say this example because it might put it into perspective and it might be true. Because sometimes I speak in my videos, and honestly, I don't know if I'm psychic or what, but sometimes I talk in my videos about scenarios like this, and even though they don't exist now, you know, I did one about a year ago, and what I said back then is coming through now. So I'm going to say what example just for the hell of it, but it's not in force now, and I don't think there's any intention to bring it in force anytime soon. Okay, so for example, if I went to Jamaica, even though I'm born in the UK with my husband, who is also born in the UK, this is my second husband, and we had a baby in Jamaica, our child would not automatically be British. That's my understanding. Because both of us are not British. We're both British by descent. Okay. These are hypothetical, remember? However, if my granddaughter, who is born in the UK, and both parents are born in the UK, went to Jamaica with her husband and had a baby in Jamaica, that baby would acquire automatic British citizenship, I believe. Unless they go through that, you know, generation upon generation thing. So, if they do want to be difficult, they could play rules to the T. I mean, they have got immigration rules and going way back. There's some one 1919. It's still in force. If they really want to go back and get stuff done to the T, they can. I mean, there's one that, you know, you can't even be a pilot as a foreign national. So, you know, it's not impossible for these things to happen. It just seems a bit out of touch now because we consider we're in an evolved society. We've moved on from that and all that kind of stuff. So it doesn't seem plausible now. So I'm just putting out there as an idea. It's just hypothetical. So observance of the law versus non-observance of the law has lulled many of us into a false sense of security. Born in the country used to mean automatic citizenship. It doesn't mean that today. So, you know, what Trump used to call the anchor babies. You had these people coming to the UK, having babies, believing that the babies, and I think they used to, would give them citizenship and also the baby's citizenship. So that's all been stopped. So you can't come from a different country, have a baby in the UK, and think that that baby or you is going to get citizenship, because what you need to have, even if one person is a British citizen, they still have to go through the registration process, I believe. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that because that gets a bit too complicated. So strike that from the record. Okay. British black men in the 1960s and 1980s weren't renowned for marrying the mothers of their children. So back in my day, 1960s, we didn't get many black British men marrying baby mothers, as they called them. So prior to the 1st of July 2006, the unmarried father could not automatically pass his citizenship on to his child. He had to go and register that child. And you can imagine, these young British black men, they're not going to be thinking, oh, I'm going to go and pay to register my child. I've got all this money. I'm going to register my child. All they're going to think is, oh, the baby mother can sort that out. But the mother at that time couldn't register the child. It was only the father. And even then, a lot of times the babies never got registered. And I can imagine the thought process back then, because they'd be thinking, well, when we are registered, born in England, it has born in England on the birth certificate. The birth certificate shows that that child is born in England, so that child has to be a citizen. That would be the mindset. You have a child in a country, that child is automatically a citizen, but it's not anymore. Depending on what year you're born and all of that kind of stuff makes all the difference. So, and that is why, in answer to that guy's question, that is why British children born in the UK can be deported. Because if they haven't been registered, if one of the parents are British and the other one is not, and they haven't done the paperwork and they're not regularised, there can be a lot of different reasons why a child can be deported. A child born in the UK can be deported. So, however, if that black British father, I'll just talk about black British because that's the culture I know that didn't really marry the baby mothers back then. But if that black British father marries the mother of his child, that child then automatically gets his British citizen. So it'd be very interesting if all these black British men who have these babies all over the place that are not regularised, if they decided to go and marry the mothers now, it would save a lot of stateless children, wouldn't it? So now the children can go and register themselves, but can you imagine, they ain't going to have that money to register. It's over £1,000. So the British Nationality Act in 1948 meant that even though the female who was a British citizen had a baby, she couldn't transfer her citizenship onto that child. In 1979, the Home Office addressed the gender discrimination because it just wasn't right. Can you imagine? You can have a baby, you're actually the mother, birthing the baby, but that child doesn't get your citizenship. Anyway, as a result, there were thousands of children who were born in the UK but who were not registered, either because the father had not registered them or the mother was not able to. So these are the children who are born in the UK who could technically be deported if they do something wrong. So in 2002, to prevent these children who hadn't been registered from becoming stateless, Parliament made it law by amending the British Nationality Act 1981, allowing children under 18 or who were children who were under 18 in 1979 to register themselves at any time as British citizens. So you have a group of children who were under 18 in 1979, which was when only the father could register them but didn't. They can now register themselves in order to avoid being stateless. However, they have to pay the fee, And where are these kids going to get that kind of money from, please? In 2002, under, I believe, the Nationality Immigration and Asylum Act, a Section 4C was inserted into the British Nationality Act, allowing for registration as British citizens of any person born between the 7th of February 1961 and the 1st of January 1983, if these persons could have received citizenship if their father had registered them. And in this case, the good character requirement, I don't think it applies to these applicants. So, what else have I got here? The Borders, Citizen and Immigration Act 2009 expanded the criteria and added the good character requirement. So I don't know how many perfect British persons by descent we have roaming our streets, but they better be careful. Since 2010, children born to British fathers who did not register them or mothers who did not register them because they didn't know they could, they don't have to pay the application fee, which was £540. They only have to pay the citizenship ceremony fee of £80. So that's quite good. I'm not sure if it's gone up. Effective 6th of April 2015, an illegitimate child born before the 1st of July 2006 to a British father can register as a British citizen by descent under the Immigration Act 2014. I think I did say that. But must meet the good character requirements, pay the processing fee and attend the citizenship ceremony. See, the thing is, you notice before, the ones born between that criteria I said before, I think it's up to 1983 or something, they don't have to abide by the good character requirement. However, those born before July 2006 do have to meet the good character requirements. So you can understand why legislation is so complicated. Because it depends on so many different categories. How the hell are people supposed to know what category they belong to? And not only the different categories, the different time slots, or the different durations, or the different years. So if you're born in a certain year, this applies. If you're born in another year, that applies. I mean, how do people keep up? That's why I said I'm not an authority on immigration. I'm just telling you basic information so you can get some understanding why young people, children born in the UK might be deported. But I'm not saying that this is why they have been deported. This, it's just to give you an idea. So children can use the naturalisation route to get British citizenship. It's a lot of money and a long process. And the citizenship approach through naturalisation is at the discretion of the Home Office. And now we have the points-based system. It's not going to be easy. You've got to worry about self-sufficiency. You've got enough dosh, money, got a job waiting for you, approved sponsor, proof of permanent residency status, legally lived in the UK X amount of years, depending on what type of leave to remain you're acquiring for, what type of where you are in the process, be of good character, sufficient knowledge of life in the UK, meet the English technical standard, pass the points-based criteria. So I hope you found that useful, and I hope I answered that gentleman's question. Bye-bye.